What was that? Sorry, that was my Siri. Siri off. Siri close.
Hit the damn record.
Hit the damn record. See we record something. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Unlikely Friends podcast solo edition. As you can see, I'm alone today. Desma's not with us, but she will be back with us soon. Now, before we get started, I just want to say one thing. Margie Taylor Greene, you are trash. So, if you are watching us on YouTube, listening to us on Spotify, and following us on Facebook, please like, share, and subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you know when we post a new video. So, ding, ding, baby, ding, ding. Now, let's get started. I remember last week I made a comment about segregation. You know, they tried to legalize segregation on a federal level. And I basically said, bring it on. But after giving it a little bit of thought, I probably think that is not a good idea because at the end of the day, even though we think it's good for us, it probably isn't a good idea because when our spending power is gone, when our labor is gone, when our caregiving is gone, when a lot of these things don't exist anymore, um, they will try to hurt us uh, to bring these things back to them. And what do I mean by that? I mean things like making transportation more difficult for us, making education even more difficult for us, shutting down HBUs, shutting down health facilities for us, criminalizing mundane things like they did in the Jim Crow era. They criminalized poverty. You know, if you didn't have a home or if you didn't have a job, they criminalized this and they literally threw people in jail for these things. And I'm afraid that they're going to revert back to that type of mentality. And that's not good for us as a people. It really is. It just isn't good. If we were tried to segregate, I mean, just think back at the Tulsa riots, the Red Summer race riots, and I think it was like in 1919 or 1920, something like that. These things happen. They happen for a reason. They happen just after um, the Reconstruction era, where they didn't have control over Black people. So what did they try to do? They tried to control Black people in another way by criminalizing everything, destroying what we built up, and just taking everything away from us and saying, no, you need to work for us, because they knew how inadequate they were to criminalize a people because you need their labor or you need their work or you need their help. That's what I'm afraid is probably going to happen again with this um, segregation thing. Yes, in fantasy land, it sounds like a great idea because, we would have our own businesses, our own this and our own that, but they will try to take it away from us again, and they will try to bring us down. They will try to do everything. They will do everything so that we have to depend on them. And that's what I'm afraid of. That's what I'm really, really afraid of, because they know how resilient we are. They know, even though there are a lot of us who made bad choices, and, a lot of them made bad choices too, but They're probably banking on, oh, the black people can't organize, they can't get themselves together, they can't. Well, they're going to be sorely mistaken. And when they do see that we can, I think um, that's going to upset a lot of white people. So this new segregation thing, I think it's a great idea that we can pull our community together, but I'm also afraid. To be honest with you, there is no pro black segregation. Now, even though white people might think it's a great idea, black people might think it's a great idea, there is no pro black segregation. And I will tell you why. Throughout history, American history, black American history, I don't even want to say black American history. I just say American history because that comprises of white and black and Hispanic and French and German history in the United States. The United States is a melting pot, okay? It is not just white or whatever white is. A lot of information was left out. And because a lot of information was left out, we are kind of stuck with this facsimile thereof, um, of what uh, the times were after uh, after the civil rights movement and after slavery. After slavery, let's put it this way: before slavery, there was no such thing as a police force. A police force was invented after slavery, during the Jim Crow era, during not Jim Crow era, sorry, during the Reconstruction era, to police black bodies. And when I say police black bodies, that means criminalizing the smallest things to get people, black people, back to work for white people, or not see free black people running around. They did this en masse. Anyway, this type of thinking, this slavery way of thinking, is, to eventually, I don't want to say this slavery type, this slavery type of thinking, or I should say, you know, this fantasy that, segregation, blah, blah, this and that, eventually to think that your oppressor is the best thing that ever happened to you. It's almost like you have Stockholm syndrome. The things that they allowed us to know about, post slavery was, working them, tirelessly, and, the whippings, and, letting them learn how to read. And, maybe you'll see them in church, or you'll see them in a shack living somewhere. But what they don't tell us is that the conditions were horrific for slave peoples. They were literally treated like or worse than animals. They were, for their white owners, livestock. And when I say livestock, I mean livestock in every sense of the word: labor, skin, food. And yes, black people were cannibalized by white people. And yes, they use their skins to make furnitures, to make bags, to make shoes, and use their hair to stuff pillows. All of these good things. See, this is what we don't know about slavery times. This is what they don't teach us. They don't teach us, how uh, black women literally had to, look over their shoulders every 3 5 minutes to make sure the master wasn't trying to come up to rape them. Yeah, they were raped. There was a lot of that. And not only the women, also the men. And it was called buck breaking. And they would do this to the men as entertainment. They thought this was like going to the Met Opera. Watch this young boy get broken by sodomizing him. demeaning him as a man, emasculating him as a man. So make him feel less than or to diminish his worth. And they did this for entertainment. They lived in inhumane conditions. There's no running water, there was no bathrooms, there were, nothing for them. Absolutely nothing. If they had to take care of, a bodily movement, they had to go out into the field somewhere or into the woods somewhere. And it was just horrid. And if you were chained up, then you had to do it right where you were. They don't teach us how they force fed children and tried to use them as alligator bait to catch alligators. They don't teach us this, but this is all true. Also, they mutilated black bodies in the name of science. And I want to say specifically women were mutilated. Because we've heard the most about women getting mutilated. I haven't heard anything about men being mutilated, but I wouldn't put it past them. Um, where women were just cut open, looking at their reproductive system, without anesthesia, without any anesthetics. It's just inhumane. And what kills me the most is that, they're always talking about how we're savages. It's like, but the most savagery has been done to us, not by us. During the Jim Crow era, they show us all of the sit-ins. They show us the boycotts. They show us the marches. They show us all of the leaders speaking and riling the people up and all this good stuff. But what they don't show you is that children trying to go to school without being harassed by grown white men or grown white women. Grown people harassing little black children trying to go to school. They don't show you that. They don't show you, or they don't tell us about women, black women, being afraid of their husbands or their sons not coming home because by some chance or some whim, some white group would just pick up a young man or black man and just pick him up and kill him for sport, like hunting deer. They would just pick him up, and the next thing you know, you see him swinging from a tree. Entertainment. They don't tell us, how people had bricks and stones thrown at them walking down the street for no reason, just simply because they're black, walking down the street, minding their own business. They don't tell us about homes being vandalized, burned to the ground. They don't tell us about flooding of whole communities. And they don't tell us about the nightly raids that used to happen. They don't tell us all of this. And all of this, I say all of this because if they try to segregate black people from white people in the United States again, that is exactly what will happen again. Please like and share. That really helps the channel. Thank you. Black people need to know their worth. And when I say know their worth, I mean know what we are capable of, but also be careful. Be very, very, very careful because you know what? This is not our fight. A lot of people are starting to see what the Trump administration is like. And a lot of people are upset, and rightly so. People are getting fired left and right over, from job being cut and programs being cut, and billions of dollars being taken away from this program and that program, which people rely on. But you know what? We tried to tell everybody, and there's like, well, how come black people aren't helping us? We tried to tell you. We tried to tell you, but you didn't want to listen. So There you go. It's your game now. It's up to you. This is not our fight. We voted for you. We voted to keep things possibly not the way they were, but so they wouldn't get worse because they're worse now. Really bad. Things are really bad in the United States. And no matter how you slice it, it is. People are starting to wake up to the fact that things are not good in the United States right now from a financial standpoint. We're resting, we're getting our pedicures, we're going to the spa, we're going to art exhibitions, we're checking out, maybe picking up a new hobby, we're discovering new music, we're traveling, we're doing all of the things that will keep us off the streets because this is not our fight. This is not our fight. This is your fight. I heard one person say, like, well, aren't black people hurting too? Yeah, we are. We are. We're probably going to get hurt the most. But you know what? We're used to it. Well, and we'll rise up from this. We will overcome, if you will. We'll rise up from this because we've been through this before. We're going through this now. This is our norm. And now you get to see what we go through on a daily basis. This is your fight. This is your fight. And it makes me happy to see a lot of these town halls and, people pushing back on their representatives. And their representatives are still carrying water for, Donald Trump and Vice President Musk. It's just sick. It's sick. It's like they're supposed to be representing you. That's really, really, really difficult for me to wrap my head around how they can just brazenly lie in front of their constituents like that. But that's neither here nor there. I digress. My point is that this is your fight, and I'm glad that you are pushing back. Um, Especially when it comes to April 5th, do not expect to see us out there with you. Mm-mm. No, ma'am. No, sir. We're not. We are not. And my brothers and sisters, do not, okay? Do not stay where you are. Stay still, as my grandmother would say. Stay still because this is their fight. They have to do this. We we will monitor. We're going to supervise. Keep on going. Keep fighting the good fight. We are there to support you, but at home. We will support you at home. We're not going into the streets because guess what? All they need is a couple of black bodies out there, and then everything will go sideways. Everything will go sideways. And when it goes sideways, he's going to enact martial law. And when he enacts martial law, all bets are off for black and brown people. All bets are off. He is going to cancel the Constitution, everything. It's just a scary thought. So that's why I'm saying, black folks, be still. Like I said last week, he is working overtime, overtime to get us into the streets. His newest stunt was giving reparations to the January Sixers. That's really a kick in the teeth for us, black people, for being enslaved in this country for over 200 years. And less than 12% of us getting, the 40 acres and a mule. Always being told, oh, why do you always have to bring up the past? And why do you always have to bring up racism, blah, blah, blah. Well, I'm sorry, these people, they deserve reparations. These people who broke into the White House, these people who broke into, these people who smeared feces on the walls, these people who hurt and unalived police officers afterwards, these people need reparations. These people who did not act in the best interest of America, these people who were arrested for crimes against the United States. These people deserve reparations. You know what? Go ahead. Go right ahead. But do it with your money, not the American people's money. You want to give them reparations? Use your money to reparate them. Do not use American tax dollars to reparate them. Okay, friends. So this is going to do it for me today. If you are watching us on YouTube, listening to us on Spotify, and following us on Facebook, please like, share, and subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you know when we post a new video. So ding, ding, baby, ding, ding. All right, everybody, take care of yourselves. Just 1 second. If you are listening to us on, So, if you're watching us on Facebook, listening to us on Spotify, and listening to so